Because I told you guys miracles still happen. I got to end with my miracle story of my sister. I'm going to make it real small because I'm running out of time. I call it my holy days. Call it my holy days. We used to get together, this guy Reggie, this guy Jeff, we would get in the car, we would pray where we're going today. We'd go out, buy people food, prophesy for them, and pray for them. That's what we did every single day. I dropped out of college to do this, and no bills were being paid at all. Like, that's what I gained. My holy days brought me most of my debt. So I decided that's what we were going to do full time. But it was the closest I've ever felt to the Lord. And as we were out driving around doing these duties, my sister, who was very high up in the sheriff's department, anyone who has connections is going to know who she is by the end of this story. She was very high up in the sheriff's department, and her husband was next up to be the sheriff in Kern County. And what happened was they were working with the Hells Angels and selling meth and doing meth. They get caught up in this. It was a big story in town. And they lose their jobs, go into a deep depression, and do meth heavier. Once they get all caught up, my sister ends up, while I'm out doing the ministry, I get a call, your sister has had a stroke. And I go, oh Lord, I knew this day was coming. You know how it is. When your sibling's an addict or when you're an addict yourself, you worry about that day that you do a little too much or they do a little too much. That call came, I broke down crying, and I started weeping to the Lord instantly with my friends. It was the first time those two had seen me cry like that. So we're driving to the hospital. I get to the hospital and I sit in this little, I don't want to break this right now. Sit in this little chair in the waiting room and I go, hey, can I go back? I want to pray with my sister. And the dude at the security guard goes, no, you're not getting back there. And I go, okay. This is why being zealous for the Lord is so important. I go, okay, bro. And I sit in the little chair and I'm like this with tears in my face. I'm going, God, you got to get me away. I got to get to my sister. I got to pray with her. Screw these doctors, screw everything. I got to pray with my sister. Because my family, none of them believed at this point other than like distant uncles and stuff. And as I'm praying and like rocking like a fool, the door comes flying open and this dude comes running out. Another security guard goes chasing him. And I see that door open and that was my opportunity to get in. I literally slid like this and whew, got up in there. Went right back to where my sister was, walking like I was a doctor or something. I looked nothing like a doctor. And I walked right back there. And when I think about it, it's a miracle that I walked right to where she was at. There's so many rooms back there. Walked right where she was at. My dad was back there. He was the only person allowed back there because she was not conscious at all. They were going to give her this shot. It's called the 50-50 shot. What was going to happen with this shot was when they gave it to her, it had it's called a 50-50 because it has a 50-50 chance of survival. And it also, if it works, she loses all functioning of her right side like you've seen people with strokes before. The best case scenario was my sister not having function of her right side. That's what the doctors had told me. So I get back there and I go, okay, I'm gonna pray with my sister. So I bend down, lay hands, and I pray with my sister. And this is where I say weeping matters. Getting real with God matters. Because when I get down and I pray with my sister weeping, and I cuss in this prayer. I never forget, I cuss. I go, you can do this, God. You can bleep it, whatever you want to put. You can do this. You've told me you could do this. God, in the name of Jesus, heal my sister. And I'm just belting it. And then I get done praying. And the only time I've ever said this, never said it since. Got done praying, bent down into my sister's ear, and I said, Cana, that's her name. I said, Jesus said he's going to heal you. As I lift my head, God is my witness, strike me dead. As I lift my head, she lifts her right hand and goes, hello. And like literally starts like trying to grab at something. Literally the nurse looks in complete shock. Like out of a movie, doctor comes around the corner holding the shot. And he goes, that shouldn't be possible. And I'm sitting back like, yup, buddy, you better recognize. And he goes, this is crazy. I got sent to Mercy Southwest. I was supposed to be here sooner. The fact I got sent away is crazy. And he literally tells me, he goes, I have to write this down as a miracle. There's no other explanation of why she's coming to. She came completely to. She's a believer now. I never thought she'd be a believer in her life. My dad, who was in that room watching, has been a believer ever since. I'm still working on his walk with the Lord, but he's been a believer ever since. And it's such a pivotal point for my family. That's when my family kind of accepted that I really was doing this God thing. And it changed a lot of things. And it all came from a prayer where any uppity pastor would say, you can't pray like that. You don't cuss at the Lord, cusses and praise from the same mouth. What are you doing? It's just how it happened, guys. But when you're real with someone who knows that, when you're real with someone, you can show them your true self. When you have real love, you can show them your true self. No, do I continue to cuss in my prayers? No, I would never. But in that moment, it had to happen. I don't know what was going on. But he showed up. Showed up through the weeping.